thank everybody for coming to tonight's March 5th budget workshop. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you take roll, Mayor?
Murray?
Here.
Bitter?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Here.
Goop?
Chief, you asked for the purchasing policy to be put on tonight's agenda. I'd like to amend the agenda to include under new business B, Fire Department purchasing policy modification.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anything else need to be added to the agenda? Is there motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I did that.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
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 We have one to work.
Is there a second?
Public comments? Hearing none. New business, fire general fund budgets. Fire fund budget, Chief?
Thank you. So, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, I'd like to thank you for again inviting me to present this balanced budget for the Armada Fire Department operations in fiscal year 2024-2025. This budget ensures our ability to conduct our mission to protect the lives and property within this community while demonstrating fiscal responsibility to our residents and our taxpayers. I've given you each a copy of the final budget to review along with me, and have highlighted in yellow those areas with notable changes in the line item values from the previous draft, and highlighted in tan new additions to the general ledger that allow better tracking of how specific funds are used. The most favorable change that you'll find compared to the prior draft is the updated revenue numbers provided by the assessor's office that reflect the 3.25 mil special assessment and the 2.25 mil advanced life support assessment. Although the revenue data is accurate, the remaining income that must be estimated has been done so conservatively. These include ALS transport revenue, inspections and plan review revenue, CPR training, and so on. All these combined give a projected allotment of just over $2.4 million to operate our fire department. So moving to expenditures on the second page, if you would please note the three tan items which represent new categories. We have longevity pay, uniform maintenance allowance, and health and wellness. The first two are contractually negotiated obligations. These are new line items. Before, that was lumped into other categories. Again, the purpose of adding these new line items, which I've been working with Chris Martin on, is really to allow accountability so we can see not something that's buried within another subcategory, but to have that front and center.
Can you please explain what that longevity pay is?
Yes, ma'am. That is a contractual obligation that was negotiated with Local 5053 for members who have reached the 10-year mark and 15-year mark and beyond. It's an annual stipend. So before that was lumped into wages and benefits.
How many firefighters, how many people are receiving that?
Currently,
right now?
there are three. So the three captains have the most seniority on the department and are eligible for that.
Okay, so they're each receiving the $4,000 then?
All told, it comes out to just under $10,000, but the reasoning on this is, what we'll discuss at the end. The revenue is estimated conservatively. The expenditures are estimated a little on the
okay.
high end.
Okay.
The uniform maintenance allowance, that's the second contractual negotiation. That's the $750 per person annual stipend that they receive for purchasing their own new uniforms. Health and wellness, this is a new category that we're putting in. The purpose of this is to allow for physicals, cardiac screening, cancer screening, and so forth to ensure the health and wellness of our firefighters. So this is another line item that we want to get buried somewhere else.
So has it been buried?
It was
Any
under
place-
contractual.
It was
That's
under
a different line item
contractual, okay.
before,
Yeah, it was a different line item.
Okay, so you took it out of that different contractual line
Correct.
item and put it, okay.
Yep. Moving down to the yellow areas. These are existing ledger, grant ledger, or I'm sorry, line item. And these three really deal with EMS. EMS expenses, EMS equipment and supplies, and then contractual services. If you look at EMS expenses, that's gone from just under $14,000 to $2,500. The EMS equipment and supplies has gone from essentially nothing, there wasn't anything in that category last year, to $15,000. The idea behind that, EMS expenses, that consisted of Band-Aids, needles, really the EMS supplies, but in addition to that, it was also EMS licenses, any fees associated with inspections on the ambulances. That was all just lumped under EMS together. The idea with this is that we can separate them. EMS expenses is predominantly licensure and inspections. EMS equipment and supplies is exactly what it states. It's equipment and supplies for our paramedics. Contractual services, EMS, that again was a zero value line item before. This we've kind of reactivated and has the lump sum of really the big expenses for EMS, which is our contractual services. This is not only our Acumed, our billing, the collections services, but the contract that we have with Stryker. And this is all the warranties, all the maintenance, the upkeep, repair on all of our equipment, our life packs, our stretchers, things like that. In addition to that, the number is large because we need to purchase a life pack for a new life pack, and then also replace one that is kind of reaching the end of its lifespan.
How much did those
Those
cost?
are $40,000 a piece.
Okay.
So that adds up pretty quickly, which is why we have $105,000 for that line item. Second from the bottom, you'll also notice a value in red, dispatching radio. This we just received the bill on from Comtech at $64,000 for dispatching services for the upcoming year. In addition to that, the remaining $6,000 is allotted for radio repair, and that is Macomb County Radio Repair who comes out, and if we're having an issue with the handsets, the base units, anything like that, when they come out, they charge. So we feel that the $70,000 for that line item will cover that without any significant issues. In addition to the dispatching that Comtech provides, included in here is also the dispatching software, the licensing for that, and the CrewForce and Streetwise apps that they have on their phones, which is how they can get notified when they're off shift that there's a call coming in, which really replaces the pagers from the past. So all that's lumped into that $70,000 line item. If we go to the last page, at the very top, another new category that we're keeping track of is professional development. And that one is specifically, has to deal with licensures and memberships. So we have fire inspectors who need to belong to the Michigan Fire Inspector Society. We have fire instructors who need to belong to the Michigan Fire Instructor Society. There are EMS instructor coordinators that need membership to that particular organization. There's Macomb County Fire Chiefs, things like that. So out of those memberships, which would have been really tucked away into either EMS or the fire marshal's budget, we've just created a line item that if it's a professional membership or related to professional development, it comes out of this particular line. So the very last one that's highlighted, capital outlay, this one had a significant bump also, and we're at $144,000 for this. The idea behind that, and Sarah and I have been going back and forth on really the definition of the capital outlay. We're looking at it as a fund for capital purchases, which are significant purchases for the down the line.
Ambulance.
So even though we have no intention on spending this money at this point in time, when we look out 10 years, 20 years for vehicle replacements, we need to set aside about $140,000 a year over the next quite a few years. I talked to a representative from one of the engine manufacturers who said, right now you can estimate an engine's about $1.2 million, and you plan on it going up 5% a year. We're in good shape with our fleet, but eventually that is, engine one will have to be replaced, and we want to have, some capital set aside for this. So that's what that large number is. It looks painful, but if we can squirrel that away every year, when it does come time to make those purchases, we'll be able to rely on that.
Okay, so your idea is that you're putting that money away so that when the time comes, we can purchase it?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we have the money set aside, we don't go out for loans.
Correct.
We paid off, perfect, like
What about
that.
extra payments for paying off the engine? Do you have anything there?
We do not, because those loans are already set and that's budgeted, so,
You don't wanna make an extra payment if you can?
I would prefer not to, but I'm always open for recommendations from the board.
So the ambulance, I would like to see the ambulance taken care of.
Why, just so to help me understand, why do you prefer not to pay extra on it? Would it benefit us in the long run if we did for interest?
It may, but I believe Sarah's going to talk a little bit about our investments and that money that we would have spent to pay that off. Currently, I believe is earning more
It's
interest
earning more.
than what we're actually paying right now.
Our rate, okay.
So that's the benefit right now.
I would like to see that at like the next meeting, like
You
show
get
what we,
you get,
I
the
did, but I
summary
think-
every month.
Does
I
it-
know,
Does
but
it show the loan?
interest, the interest,
Interest?
I'm gonna
It does
so.
not, no, it does not show.
Okay, well,
the
that's
loan.
what we
Okay.
wanna see.
I did give it to you at
Yeah,
one point
but-
a few months ago,
yeah.
but.
We wanna see where
Um,
we're at with that.
And if
And
that's
the
the
other-
case, that does make them.
And the other thing is with what's going on right now with the fire station and the possible changes to that, the more money that we have put aside to help pay for all these things is less money that we need to look for mills for the community, from the community for. So we're using the tax dollars effectively and responsibly by not asking for 12 mills when we don't need 12 mills because we have been saving money. So that's another way of looking at it.
So
and-
just to finish this up real quick, and I'll entertain any questions you might have afterwards. Just to bring it all to a full circle, we have the income and the expenses, those offset one another. So as it stands now, there's a balanced budget for the upcoming fiscal year.
And just to let you know, as the chief said, we have been talking, we've been working on this. He's only been here a month, and so, I commend you on this. And I wanted to make sure he was comfortable with where his numbers were, knowing that he is brand new, he's only been here for a month. And also, although he did, we all, both the general and the fire department, we do have better numbers from the assessor's office as to what to expect for the coming year. Not everyone is, we've done really well collecting taxes. 99% of our winter taxes have been paid on time and don't have to go to the county. But with that being said, it's like the 972,000 right here. I just wanted to make sure he knew that he may not get all of that because,
Well, we get delinquents. We'll get paid for the delinquents.
Yeah, from the county.
right, but not to count on them because of, I go by what we got, what we have received as of the due date. So yes, I know that's just so that he's aware.
No, but I
Okay.
do appreciate that, and like I had mentioned, the revenues are very conservative, and I think the expenditures are not necessarily in excess, but they're a little more generous than a bare minimum. So I feel that's a comfortable buffer. I don't anticipate any problems in the upcoming year.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I was just gonna say, I certainly appreciate your effort. I think the budget generally looks good. What you presented tonight doesn't match the BSNA sheet that we provided from the clerk, so.
Correct.
Because he
And-
didn't give me the change.
Yeah, so in
Yeah, and this
compa-
was actually finished up today. I
Yeah,
had a
so-
meeting with Sarah yesterday with some numbers and looked at kind of long-term utility bills and trending, and that modified some of these numbers. So I apologize to the clerk, but.
Okay,
I
and
didn't get it
that
there
kind of
in time.
answers some of my question, but, so the big change that I notice on here is obviously the ALS revenue went up significantly, and so then looking at all your expenses, most of them went up since the previous budget. My assumption is that's to show the expenses matching the revenues, generally speaking.
Correct.
Certainly my opinion would be that, and I know you're just being conservative on the expenses and, hey, the money's there, if you will, so you want to show it. Is it a value, are those accurate? I would prefer to maybe see it more in the capital outlay or paying off, whatever's best for the township, and obviously we already had this discussion. My initial feeling before coming here tonight was, yeah, let's pay off loans, because I don't like debt. But if we're actually earning more interest on
Correct.
the investment, okay, then that changes things. Certainly it could be in the capital outlay, or it should be in the capital outlay. I just want to make sure you didn't, because some of these went up kind of significantly, if it was 20, you bumped it to 30.
Well, the
Is
one-
it fair to do that versus putting more of it in the capital outlay? Or does it all go to the capital outlay if it's extra in the end
Correct.
anyway? Okay, I guess at that point it doesn't matter. I don't want to spend it just because we have
No,
it,
no, no,
only because we
it's-
need it,
Right.
No, and
we
I'm
had-
completely with you. I don't
Right.
like debt either, and I had looked at if we just pay off the note from the ambulance and the engine, but at this point in time, I think the interest that we're earning exceeds the interest that we're paying. So,
Okay.
So I can see the one that we got just on the 26th did not have the .75 millage increase.
correct.
This one does.
Right.
So that's why that number went up, and that's why you would have.
Yes, ma'am.
Go in there, okay, we have this now coming in. We know it's coming in, it's a millage.
Right, and which
So-
we had to wait until the end of the month for assessing to get those numbers and provide them, so.
Because it hits on the winter
But it
taxes.
should have been, but that, to work on a budget, we should have had that increase in here. It's .75 increase. We should have had that before we even started working on these budgets.
Well, we can't because
get it
that's the
till-
way the assessor's office works. They've got to do board of review. There's a lot of things that they do
I
behind the
understand that,
scenes,
but we
so.
all know that increase was
Probably
happening.
forgot that was happening.
Yeah, the
That's
increase
what
was
happened.
happening. It should have been noted while we were working on this budget, so that we don't come in and go,
We even
oh,
wait
wow,
for,
look at all this
we even
money
wait
that
for
we
our
got
general
now.
fund revenues until Tom tells us what the tax roll is.
You can estimate. Do you know how to do .75 increase?
So,
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, other than that,
just calm down.
appreciate the effort, and it appears good to me.
Must be
The
nice
only
to be
comment I'd have, which is not really budget related, more auditor related, is when the audit's completed, do they provide us with a number of what the capital outlay fund balance is, because it's in this fund? And every community's different, but I'm used to, there's a separate fund created that the money gets transferred into, so that you separate, you know that's not part of the fire department operating fund, it's the capital fund. That would be my only comment, more for the auditors, obviously, than for you, chief, but,
If I'm not mistaken, that's what's being invested.
Yes.
but I
That's
just
my
mean, it's all
understanding also.
listed apparently under 206, is there a different fund that goes into that we just don't receive as part of this review process? I'd like to know what that balance is, as part of this, every year, we should see where we're at on that.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get you those numbers.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else, thank you for your time.
Thank you, chief.
Chief, would you like to take care of your purchasing policy modifications?
I would, very much so.
Is it okay with the board?
Sure, it's
Yeah, I
on
have
the
no
agenda,
issues.
yeah.
This stems from an email that I had sent out about 2 weeks ago, and this came to my attention. We were in the process of looking at purchasing gas monitors, which are, they monitor carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, methane, hydrogen sulfide, different things like that. We're looking at purchasing this under a grant, and this came from the fire marshal. who says there's about $10,000 remaining in one of our grants. We went out, we solicited 3 different bids. They came in right around $10,000. The one we're looking at was, I believe, $9,600, maybe $9,400. When we went prior to really confirming that we were going to purchase this, we looked at the purchasing policy and noticed the way it was written, really purchases, depending on the amount, had different degrees of oversight. The thresholds were $1,000, $2,500, and $5,000. Each one required either a series of bids, approval from the township supervisor, or township from the board, or approval from the board, or else anything over $5,000 required the sealed bid process, where we put out an invitation to bid. There's a notice that goes into the newspapers. Bids are submitted to the clerk or the treasurer. They schedule a time to open up the bids awarded to the individual. It's a time-consuming process, and I think for the $500 or the $5,000 threshold, it was really kind of more effort that needs to be put into it. I had spoken with the supervisor and explained to him that, really, fire nozzles are expensive, fire hose is expensive. It costs, almost $4,000 for turnout gear for an individual. If we consistently had to put out sealed bids for these smaller amounts, it's really, it's a prohibitive process. So I had spoken with him and recommended that we still keep the levels of oversight, we just change the triggering thresholds. And that was the email that I had sent out to the board, suggesting that we change it from $2,500, so purchases up to $5,000 require solicitation of 3 quotes, and then approval from the township supervisor. Purchases from $5,000 to $10,000, again, requires 3 bids, but it requires approval from the entire board. And then once we have really these capital purchases that are over $10,000, those are the ones that would trigger the sealed bid process. So it was really to streamline the process of making our purchases, where we're not encumbered by red tape every time we go to make a purchase. I agree, I feel $10,000 is a good threshold for instituting the sealed bids. Once we get into purchases, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, absolutely, we want to go that route. I just don't feel for anything under $10,000 that we have to advertise in a paper for 4 or 5 days and then, have the clerk or the treasurer go through this open bid process. It just, again, it seemed like a lot more red tape than we need. So I had sent a proposal out to keep the degrees of oversight, just change the triggering threshold. And I would ask that you would discuss it and review it and
The
let me
gas
know your thoughts.
monitors, you said that's part of a grant?
yes,
Okay, and we got that grant?
yes.
How much is that grant?
There's $10,000 remaining. So the intent was to spend, I believe it was $9,400, and then the remaining,
10,000 remaining from what?
What was the total amount?
I don't know what the
'Cause
original.
I know we got one
was.
for cameras, but aren't they explicit, you can only use it for camera? Where's the remaining from, the remaining grant money?
That is a great question.
Cause I didn't know if you could intermingle the grants, do you know what I mean?
Well, we assume that you've been spoken with the grant,
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the fire
the
marshal's
county or
project.
whatever, so.
Yeah, I came in at the 11th hour when
Okay.
he needed a signature to purchase this.
But my assumption
So
is
this
there's
is-
been correspondence and they've authorized that this will be reimbursed by the
Yeah,
grant.
because
Correct.
the
for the
fire
purchases.
marshal knows what can be,
I know, but I'm just saying, can that grant, the leftover money be used for something else? I thought they had
Well,
to be
if
specific.
the fire
Well,
marshal's saying that
that-
he's been given approval, then I
Then-
would say
Okay,
yes, it is.
I'd like to see.
I don't think
So-
we,
And it's not necessarily the purchase of that equipment. That's, I believe, for next week's meeting. This is particularly just to look at the purchasing policy that was brought to light by that purchase coming across my desk. And
Okay, so I have a question. So the only time that the supervisor is supposed to be given approval is if it's an emergency. So that's, I'm kind of like concerned, is this gonna just keep going, like if you
well,
just.
it
this
says,
is the purchasing policy
Have
that,
some-
this is what's currently in place. In the
But it was
there-
for emergencies, but that
That's
was
what
not
it is,
mentioned.
right? It is
Okay.
here, there is emergency for the supervisor.
It's all the same.
From 1 to 5,000, at least what's proposed, it's the supervisor and the treasurer or the clerk, so it's not just the supervisor at, even at that range, and then
They're just
5 to
changing the
10,
range.
it's the board, anything above
Yeah,
5,000
and
comes to
my-
the board.
My opinion is that, I agree with the chief. I think, especially right now when everything costs so much more. I mean, we go to the grocery store and you don't get as much for $100 as you did last year or 5 years ago. Or, you know, so everything costs a lot more. The fire engines cost a lot more. And you have to wait, you know, I mean, for 3 and 4 years, to get stuff like that. So
Should we make
I
a motion?
agree. I think the threshold, all the oversight is still there. But I do agree that the threshold could be raised and not, have any
Just for the
negative effect
bid,
whatsoever.
Just for going out for bids.
Should we make a motion first, and then, maybe get into the discussion just to follow Robert's rules?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we
Approve the
approve,
proposed modifications or something.
And I'll support that.
okay. and then
Sorry,
we'll
I'd just like to
discuss
be,
it. Yeah, because,
make
well,
sure there's support for it.
you could have just the motion, because I don't, yeah. But let's just go ahead and have discussion.
Yeah,
then.
okay, so, do you have something you had to say? I don't wanna jump in.
No, I just wanted to make sure that, like, how often does this happen that there would not be a board meeting? That it, you know, we
Well,
had to make a decision now.
These proposed changes don't change all they change is the dollar amount. So currently, from $1,000 to $2,500, they have to get 3 quotes and get
Yeah, I
approval from the,
understand that.
so
I
now they wanna
understand
change. So that's the only thing that's changed. If we're talking about what's changed, that's the only thing that's changed is the dollar amounts.
And if I'm not mistaken, this particular purchase is what brought to light
Correct.
these numbers. So you are not asking the board for approval to make this purchase
Correct. No.
tonight.
And
That's
the-
at next week's
Yeah,
meeting.
Currently,
understand that.
under the
Okay.
current policy, if anything over $2,500 comes to the board. Now it's requesting to raise it to 5,000
Right.
before it comes to the board. In my opinion, I agree 100%. I think there's a lot of effort for, it's, to me, these are small purchases, at least this day and age. Some antics wise, I would say, you should probably change that from the 5 to 10,000 range. I would say it should be classified as a quote versus a bid, so that it's kind of consistent with the one before. It's not a sealed bid, it's a quote. Otherwise, I don't know the difference between a written bid and a sealed bid at that point, so I would
It's
say.
really just a quote in an envelope.
Yeah, I know, that's 100%. But I agree with this entirely. Again, I would call, in that one section, I would call it 3 written quotes consistent with the section above, because I think that's basically what you're getting at that point.
Correct.
Just so it's consistent. And I appreciate you sending this to us in advance,
Yeah,
of course.
I did, and I did read it.
And I
did.
appreciate you sending this, the cover letter, which I had requested, so I appreciate that. At the bottom, there is a recommended motion. It looks like it was overlooked. That's intended for you to maybe put a
Oh,
motion to, approve the recommended changes or whatever. That's just a comment, so just trying to be helpful.
Joe,
No,
Marie,
Yes.
Eric,
Yep,
Kathleen,
Yes.
so like, you know.
okay.
all right, chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We'll move into our general fund.
So is this, was this just for a reference? I found this in the.
Yes, yep, that was, that's the, budget from fiscal year, 18 through this year. So we can see over the last
how
5
things have
years where
changed.
we've been, yeah. Just for reference.
Can I ask, Mary, do you know when the insurance stipend started getting paid? I went back to 2013,
It was, oh, when it began, I don't know.
when it
Well,
began.
you wanna start at the top here, or?
Sure, I just want to
Just
know how
jump.
much you expect to increase the millage, because this is like not a balanced budget. So, yeah, let's start at the top.
Okay, the proposed,
I'm, sorry, okay, I was looking at the wrong item. Yep, so this matches what we were given here in this column,
this is
correct?
actual, this came right off the.
Okay, I just
right
wanna
off
make
the-
sure it matches
yeah.
what we were given, okay.
This came right off the BSNA. So our working budget right now from 23-24, our tax revenues are 274. The proposed amount for 24-25 is 292,101. Our tax collection income,
Actually, I have a
Okay, but
question.
stop.
Yeah, we haven't collected that for 2 years.
okay,
The last time we collected that was in 2021. So,
It's showing that the activity is 212,560.88, which is less, it's less 51,514
212,000, I'm off.
from that, from the 574 in
That's-
tax
That's,
revenue.
activity through, so
Yeah,
supervisor,
activity
the
through.
supervisor, he's reading off this, which we were just given today, you might not even have, it's probably in your box.
Consider box.
There's no, I didn't see anything in my mail.
And he was reading proposed, not activity. Yeah, that was my concern too, I don't
Well,
know.
but the numbers are still there. The tax collection income was in the original budget, and there's been no activity, and there's none proposed.
And there's none in the new budget, right?
Right, and so these numbers are not any different.
Right.
The tax collection income, isn't that what we bill the schools for?
yeah, that's what you're supposed to bill them for, but you haven't billed them in 2 years.
I did too, because we collected some.
Well, I don't see them in the cash receipting, I didn't see anything.
They're in there.
Don't they pay $1.50?
It's $1.75 per parcel and
Yeah.
then $2.25.
Mhm,
But it's
We've
not in
raised
the-
it to
It's
two
It's not in the
twenty-five.
it's not in the cash receipting, I don't see where anything was collected.
All
Right, I'll have to look. But we did just finish the tax cycle anyway, so in Armada gets billed twice, so.
Yeah, but 22 wasn't billed, or 23.
Again, this year's.
I was gonna say possibly just wasn't recorded in the correct spot, possibly?
That could very well be.
Versus not
I'll take a
received.
look.
Okay, building permits, our working budget is 56,000, it was made 45,000. Electrical permits, 16,000, we moved that down to 15,000. Our mechanical permits were 20,000, that's 15,000 in this year's budget. Our plumbing permits were 9,000, and it's proposed to be 8,000. The CDBG, ASEP,
Well, you've got the federal and state grants, we're leaving it open.
federal grants, right. Just keeping the dollars. The federal grants, $1, state grants, $1, state grant, public safety, $1. Our local community share this year was budgeted at 8,000, next year 6,000. Our liquor state shared was 396,000, this year we're expecting 401,088. Our Metro Act revenue isn't, we haven't been getting that for a few years. Smart Municipal, 24,000, or 2,400, it's this
I was gonna
year
say
it's
24,000
3,000.
would be
that's
nice.
good. Lots of trips.
Smart Community, 10,540, this year 10,542. Zoning Board of Appeals, $1,280, we're leaving it at 1,280. Zoning splits and land divisions, 3,500 was budgeted last year, it's 3,000 this year. No income from the Planning Commission, special meetings, reviews, and planning was 15,000 in this year's this current budget. It's 5,000 for next year. Cemetery plots, Xerox zoning books, and refunds, FOIA and other income was all set at $1. Re-inspections was 2,000, we left it at 2,000. There's no revenue for fire inspection. believe that goes back to the fire fund now.
Wait a minute, fire inspections, what are you talking about? We're at senior
There's
event tickets.
nothing, you're at senior events, fire inspection, there's
Okay,
nothing there.
that's, right, there's nothing in there, right? Senior event tickets, 10,000 last year, down to 3,000 this year. Senior bus trips, there was nothing, budgeted for last year, 2,700 this year. Ordinance fines and costs, nothing. Interest, dividend, and revenue, that was 7,000 last year. We're anticipating 15,000 this year. There's no payroll. Property lease, farming, 1,443 last year. We're expecting
Actually, put that back down to 14,3370, cause the other $20 is for the fire department.
for the fire department.
120? Oh, for the
what
parcel,
one?
the
For
fire
their lease.
parcel?
Yeah.
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 The,
This was
lease, the,
Okay.
Farming lease,
1434.
14, put 1434.
No park donations. No skateboard, no FOA.
Wait a minute,
Elec-
you're looking at,
Friends
See,
of
we're not
Armada
looking at
Playscape,
this
there's
one.
no contributions for those. The, election reimbursements, it was 5,000 last year. It's gonna be 22,500 this year. There's no Alpha One payments, there's no,
why is that on the general fund? The
that
Alpha
was,
One payment?
that was the loan
that
from the
was
general
what
fund
they
to the
owed,
fire.
the fire department owed us
Oh, okay.
100,000.
this is
Got it.
years ago, this goes back.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
No reconciliation discrepancies, the sale of property, we left at $1. The bond insurance recoveries, we left at $1. Transfers from capital improvement, there isn't any, so there's a total income of, last year, $858,697, this year, $854,073. Minus, how much was it,
120.
120.
Sorry.
So is your intention, you're reading these off, you want us to just bring it up if we get to an item we have a question about? I'm
Yeah, that's
assuming?
all income, now
Okay.
we're gonna go to expenses. And ask the questions, and we'll approve the numbers. The governing body, trustee wages, this year was 8,524, the proposed budget's 8,524.
5,023, you wanna round it up?
Yeah, that's fine, 8,024, or 8,524. The FIC went down, there, that's 396,
Check that.
and the, employees Medicare stayed the
That's what you
same.
got on yours too.
Yeah,
Education, training, SEDCOG dues, government 1,500, state 1,500.
Yeah.
So the proposed budget from last year for the governing body was 10,644 this year. It's
Why is some cog in
10,540.
here?
Does it get split out?
That's an expense
That's
that
an-
we pay to be in
it's for
SEMCOG.
it's a government expense for the SEMCOG.
How much was that?
How does it,
854, I think it was, 852.
Wouldn't our MTA dues go in there then?
I got a
there's
separate
a,
line item for
there's a
it.
different line item for that.
I know, but I'm wondering if that would be no different than SEMCOG.
We can move it there, once we get there.
I do agree, they're consistent, they should
Oh,
probably be
yeah,
the
they're
same
both,
item,
yeah,
yeah.
municipal governing, or municipal bodies, or boards.
Okay, so then what do you want the education and training to be at 1,000, or it was 1,500?
It's 1,500, that's what, that's
Just
what's
keep
in
it
there. Wages supervisor was 29,316. This year's cost of living is really 3.2%.
Well, it's actually what, some boards are doing 5%, some are doing 4%,
I know,
some
I've
are
just
doing.
said, we talked about
4.5%.
cost of living,
Well, actually, it's a
4.5%
living
is-
wage, so it doesn't have to be cost of living, it's just a
So
reasonable request for
the
a,
wages proposed are 4.5%
Right.
currently, that 30,635, which was,
right,
obviously actual wage approvals will come as to the board.
4.5%,
For,
4.5.
that's what's shown in the
Security
budget.
is 3.2%.
Cost of living is 3.2.
So what is it that this number reflects?
4.5. Yep.
Like, everything's gone up, like you said, like extremely.
The trustees have a 0% proposed, though. Just-
Yeah, the 4.5 is actually the consumer price index, which is inflation.
There's a lot of it.
Cost of living set by the Social Security Administration. So whatever that 29,316 is, what 3.2% is cost of living, that's what I'd ask for,
So you don't want the 4.5, you want 3.2% now,
please.
of course.
I don't understand. Can I ask questions or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Our original discussion was that cost of living was 4.5%.
Well, not
Supervisor
cost of
saying
living
that,
was, it's just John and I talked about that figure, the
Yeah,
4.5%.
yeah, regardless,
which
we
think is
discussed
reasonable.
the sheets we
That
were
was
provided at 4.5. Supervisor saying the actual cost of living is only 3.2, so
It
he's
is
requesting
3.2. I've got
an
the
adjustment
paperwork here from Social Security
to
Administration.
his wage to be 3.2% instead of 4.5.
CPI equals inflation rate, the
C-
4.5.
CPI is
No, the consumer price
CPI
index
is
is the
4.5.
4.5.
There are
And that's
multiple,
what the assessor went under, we gave him like 5% last year, he was,
Yeah, that was his contractual request.
right, but still went by the CPI.
Deputy wages, $5,000.
I mean, I do want to talk about that. Is now the time to talk about
Yeah.
Yeah, put it at 0.
that? Well, I do agree with the clerk. I do want to comment that when the deputy supervisor, when she does, she's done a lot this year, and she's done a good job. So my opinion of not providing a deputy wage should not reflect, it's not a reflection of her work, because she actually,
No,
she
about
provides a
She
very,
has a wage, she just
to
doesn't
me,
have a
when she
budget.
does,
already has a
she
wage.
does something, she does a good job. My concern is always,
She typed up the letters for your selection committee, you asked me to have. her
yeah, and
send
I
out-
appreciate that, yeah.
Okay, for nothing?
That's your job, that's the
Yeah,
supervisor's job.
well,
to
my
do. I mean, it's-
my
I
opinion
can
has
see if you
always
were-
been
if you
that
were here
based,
every day and you needed someone, Monica never needed anybody.
That's right, I'm asking for a $5,000
Yeah.
budget for my deputy. Take a roll.
we're gonna vote on
well, we're
Yeah,
individual items?
we're going in with what this
Okay,
board agrees on.
I am absolutely opposed to that.
There you go.
If you were here, that would be different.
Right.
You're not here, and
Right.
she's doing your job, so you can pay her.
Yep.
Yes or no, guys? One at a time.
I make a motion that we delete that
Well, you
line
don't have to make a
item
motion,
for,
just you agree.
okay, yeah, no.
I say yes.
Jim?
I'm a no at this time.
Mary?
I am also a no to the, increase on all salaries, just so that you know. So I go back to the supervisor, absolutely not. You're getting $4,200 for a health insurance stipend. You have
Well,
2 jobs.
We can cross that when we get to the healthcare
Okay,
stipend.
perfect.
All right, employees FICA, Medicare.
But let's go back and let's
Now
just
we're
vote
going to
on the
health,
raise
now
for
we're at
you.
health insurance.
Let's go wait for raise for you. I absolutely oppose a raise for the supervisor.
Okay.
I have no problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it, however, I am voting against it because I don't believe anyone should be getting any raises
So
either.
nobody should get any raises,
Okay.
everything's increased, we should work more hours and
Okay.
not get paid?
Well, do you really wanna go there?
Well, why not? That's,
All
we
right.
should go there.
The world out there, that's the reality.
Yes or
We
no
just
on
do what we have
3.2?
to
For me, it's a yes, even though I don't personally want to raise. I think that using what's realistic as far as employers are getting 3%, 2.5%. So I would say something is appropriate, and if 3% is the metric that we're using, then I'm
Fair.
okay with that.
3.2%.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we're
I don't
on-
mind it for the trustees, it's for the
No, I
positions that
don't.
we
Yeah,
have.
I don't,
I
It's for
understand that,
anybody
and-
else that comes in here,
And
you know.
not
I'm
only that, this is an election year, and now when
It
you
is.
do wanna set the wages and budgets and healthcare and all that kind of stuff, cause that's what the next person gets to deal with if there's a next
Absolutely.
person.
Well, in October, I've got it in my phone, because when I talk to the MTA, that is when those wages can be reduced. And that's where I will be asking that the insurance stipend is removed, the $4,200 that are going to the top three, supervisor, clerk, and treasurer. For what? It's part-time. What
You
other
know, Monica,
part-time
you keep
job?
saying we're
well,
part-time.
no,
You are
here's-
part-time.
I'm here
no,
every
oh,
day,
It's
here's-
and then
part-time.
some.
Okay.
And I was here
We're-
every day, I was here
yeah,
5
but-
days a week.
Hold on a
here.
minute here,
good for
okay?
you.
We're at $4,200 for my health care. Yes or no, Monica?
No,
Yes or no, Jim?
no.
Yes or no, Mayor?
I have no problem with it.
Sarah?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, the 4,200. Computer support and maintenance. Education and training,
I would take
Wait,
that
what'd you
down to 0, because you've been in this role for 15 years, and we got this budget that is definitely not balanced. It's just
yes or-
unbelievable
yes or no,
to me.
Monica?
No,
Jim,
Yes.
Mary,
Keep it.
Yes,
Sarah?
keep it.
Okay, the
You do a
625
lot of,
stays.
you do training and stuff.
Membership and mileage, because I'm actually over budget, because my, supervisor association dues went up $150.
They did, yeah, everything's
So I'm
gone
gonna
up,
have to
yeah.
move that around,
Yeah.
plus, I don't, that's 400, that's 325.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to make that 900
for your mileage
and my
And
membership.
Membership.
and membership and
Four of
mileage.
it, so it's 500 for mileage.
Absolutely not. You know
Okay.
what, yeah, no.
Jim, I'm asking for 900.
Yes.
I have no
Me-
problem
Mary?
with that.
You're only
Sarah?
charging actual mileage for attending something,
I
right? Yeah.
very seldom charge for mileage. Okay. Wages clerk,
Okay, I sent you, did anybody read this?
I sure did.
I did, and I do
And
wanna
need-
say
I need
that
all
I,
your comments, because I just need to
Yeah.
hear you, and I need your respect too.
I know at the last meeting I had requested something writing, and
And I did give it to you in
I
writing.
think that
and
that's exactly what I was looking for, so I really appreciate that. And I was paying attention during the election, and I do agree that the clerk, that is a change in role. So I'm not 100% sure how to do that. I think that some sort of a stipend, which is what the clerk's proposing,
Well,
that
it's
does
actually-
seem
it's actually
appropriate
not a
to me.
stipend.
or not a stipend, however you'd
Yeah,
word it.
what
It's
you would do is you would
it's-
put it in the salary resolution, and you would approve that, but every year it would change. I would take out, if there's no elections, you take out that $14.50 that I was requesting.
Okay, when I talked to the
yeah, but you
MTA,
can't
because
take,
I asked about
you can't
the,
take wages out.
you can't.
No.
So
Every,
what if it's,
every year,
if it's,
it
ta-
can
if
be
it's a tax,
adjusted.
which is why,
Why, that's why I
You
put,
can't.
would put it in there.
Is there a way to word it?
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Okay, shared clerk compensation is coming from the MTA. Shared clerk compensation resolution does not comply with township legal requirements. MTA is aware that the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks has sent out a statement and sample resolution that they are proposing to be used by municipalities to address compensation for the new and expanded election responsibilities resulting from Proposal 2 of 2022 and follow-up legislation adopted for its implementation. While we share the concerns for adequate compensation for all election officials, including clerks and other officials responsible for the election process, we cannot advocate for the use of a resolution that does not match the legal requirements and restrictions on the compensation of township clerks.
So does anybody agree with me that the clerk has extra duties for that? As far as just facilitating the discussion?
The sample resolution,
And that may
Does
not
not
be the
make
right way
any-
to do it.
yeah.
I'm not saying that. What I'm asking though is,
But,
should
okay,
the
but
clerk be
here's- you know
pursuing
what?
legal or appropriate means of adjusting that compensation when there's an election? Because I do agree, that's a lot of time for a
It is a
salaried
lot of time,
employee.
but they're looking to reverse that already.
Well, and if they
There's
do, that
groups
would-
Well, in
are,
the
you know, but-
meantime,
Go away.
And then,
Yeah.
but,
In the meantime.
In
But-
the meantime, I'm doing all this work. Dawn and I have been working, we work
and I
16
get that,
days
and
in
I
a row.
get that, I get that.
Weekends, how would you like to work a weekend? Say,
But-
you're not getting paid to
So-
work, but you have to work on the weekend.
Been there, done that.
Right now,
Yeah.
right now, we're talking budgets.
I just think it's
So
a
what is-
role,
Well,
you've
right now-
you've had somebody, I just,
The MTA says
Okay, so
no
what
also.
is, so what would be the
I just say
stipend
no.
that would
Well,
be,
Yeah, they say
They'll-
no to that method essentially.
not a stipend, so what would be the
No.
salary instead of just the 2 point, or 3
Well,
point?
it's
Well, the
not
hard
salary,
part
It
is
goes
we
on,
don't-
it was in the MTA newsletter that came out.
I understand that, I know that, I'm
I
just
think
thinking,
that's why,
asking for a
if I'm
fair
not
wage
mistaken,
for all,
I
a
think
lot of
that's
the
why
work.
Richmond said at every election cycle, they make a contribution to their retirement fund.
And I don't even know if
we
you
don't
could do
have.
that.
Yeah.
I know we don't have
No.
But they
retirement
do,
fund,
they're
but-
doing something.
But they do that, so they don't put it in the wages, and they do that just so their extra money is compensated for that
You know what,
week.
take time off when there's not an election.
I don't have to take
You
time
know?
off, Monica, do you know how much work I do here?
You
Well,
know, I
last year
just-
you worked at Bruce Township because you were okay
And I
to
got
work
all my
there,
work done.
and you got all your work
I
done.
got all my work
But
done.
now you don't work there anymore, and
And I still get my work done and then some.
So that's, I mean, if,
And the clerk from Ray Township, they just added 44%. She makes over $40,000, and all she does is elections. She doesn't do accounts payable, payroll, general ledger, or anything like that.
Who's that?
Lori Lasko,
Over in
Ray Township.
Richmond? Oh,
Ray
Ray.
Township.
But you know what? We're not any other community. We're just not.
But I still do the
But
same work
do they
anybody
have,
else
do
does.
they have a balanced budget? Cause we don't. Our
I'm not
budget,
talking
we're-
about a
Well-
balanced budget
but
right
you
now.
have
I'm
to
talking
have,
about a
what
but
fair
you have to
wage.
have
have.
a balance,
And
that's what
and
we're
again,
talking
they all are
about.
different. Richmond
you-
Township
oh,
pays
we have,
$28,500
according to this.
all three of their
there have been
Official.
years where we actually did not
they
spend
make
all the money.
supervisor, clerk, and deputy all
revenue.
make 28.5.
But there are years that we went way over.
And
so, I mean, to Monica's, proposal or argument, you know, if I'm a salaried employee, if I go work overtime, it's comp time, I don't get paid overtime, so maybe you're saying you obviously don't like that option, you would want the extra pay. I agree that, there's extra work there, and something should be done, and I don't know what that is, whether it is comp time off, or whether it's, some sort of pay. I don't think it's appropriate to roll it into the wage, because clearly there's some years without elections, you know, so it's hard to be just part of the wage. What is the right way to do that? And that maybe further, before it comes to the board as a wage resolution, maybe that discussion, there's some more digging that needs to be done. As far as today and a budget, to me, it may be appropriate to,
When Shannon
account for
Kristoff
that.
was the treasurer and never here, and Mary did a lot of that work, the board voted and gave her like a $1,500 bonus. It was like a bonus. It was a
That wasn't for
15,
that.
yes,
No, that wasn't
yeah.
for that.
That wasn't for that. No,
Nope.
it was because they took money away from when Gail was clerk. She didn't do her good job. They took that away. We finally caught up. Yes, John, the first 4 years, we didn't even take a wage increase.
Nope.
Hardly, I even got a spreadsheet here. We're pathetic as far as wages.
Well, it's kind of why I wanted to show the history. I mean, it's not like they've gone up leaps and bounds.
No, I mean, the whole 16 years I've been here, it's gone up like $9,000. That's $500 a year.
Yeah, I went
Divide that
from
by what, 26 weeks?
But she
27.
added that is counting your wage. You're not adding the $4,200 that you guys are getting.
Okay, and I
Every
have
year,
to pay health care
you
with that.
guys
Do you know
are-
that? It's
and-
not like I'm just,
And I have to pay health care too. We pay health care. You know, it's just like a lot of people out there pay health care. They cannot increase their wage. That's
all I'm
the
asking is
point.
for a fair wage to
I-
handle all of this.
At the end of the day, I can't argue with that. At the end of the day, I cannot argue with, none of us are really making enough money. None of us. It's not a living wage, that's why I need a job.
This should,
Yeah.
you know what? If you want a living wage, go and work at the big three. Go and work at a hospital.
don't
Go and do
hire.
something. You know what? They would hire. They hire anybody right
I'm
now.
too old.
Yeah, I'm getting too old.
That would be a living wage. This should not be. That's why people are
Okay,
so.
we're on Mary's
Whatever.
wage.
Okay,
Okay.
no.
Right now, you're currently at 29,316. Would you like cost of living on
wait,
that?
what?
29.
It says
What?
It says 34,648.
34,648 is the current.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were looking at yours.
I went back to mine.
Oh,
Yeah, you're at 34,648. Cost of living would be 3.2%.
And
And
that
that would
36 is showing a 4.5%.
Which
That-
is it showing you guys?
okay, right now it shows the 4.5%.
And I'm a no on that. I'm a no on the 3.2 as well, so just jot me down for that. Keep it at 34,648.
No,
I-
I do support a cost of living raise from Mary.
Okay, so
What's the
3.2%
percentage? 3.2?
is $1,108 for the extra work I do. That's really good.
Well, that's cost of living. That's what Social Security. That's what they say.
Well,
This
just-
board is ridiculous. I don't know what I gotta say.
Well,
but
then,
whatever.
if you need to make more money to live, then you should probably work in the private sector rather than community.
Come on, stop, guys.
I'm-
Yeah, d- I,
Stop,
I-
we're setting a budget here.
yeah.
We're setting a
So
budget.
I'm just asking,
So are you asking for
Can we-
4.5 or 3.2?
I would like the 4.5. That's not much. That's like $1,500. That would be 36,207.
I'm still a no.
Jim,
I
what do
am
you
no
think?
on all the.
Well,
wage
because of,
increases.
we're not coming to agreement on the stipend, I would say I will support that at this time.
The 4.5?
Yes.
Monica, no.
No.
Sarah, no. Jim, or John?
We're not doing election stipends?
No. I just asked for 4.5%.
Yeah,
I mean, actually, the whole board should
that's
be
just,
cohesive. A lot of boards are cohesive. They work, they all take the stipend. It's because of the position.
deputy wages, deputy clerk,
Deputy clerk,
20,000 was,
22,932. That would be at a wage of 19 oh.
well, what if,
I was asking for a wage increase for Dawn for 4.5%. That'd be 86 cents. Bringing her hourly wage to 20.04. And then I also want an incentive for her, but I'm not even asked for that. I'll pay her out of my own pocket.
yeah,
For the
can't do
extra
that,
work
we've been
that she
through
does.
that.
I understand that, but. So 4.5%, that's what I would request for Dawn also.
Is that the 22,932?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Now Dawn did get paid for all of her time at an hourly rate, correct?
Right.
For the election.
Right. So 4.5% for Dawn, John, yes, no?
yeah,
Jim,
Sure.
Monica,
No.
Sarah, no?
No.
Thank you.
health insurance stipend,
No.
Jim,
No.
yes,
I have no problem with it.
Sarah?
I have no problem with it. It's not like it's changed.
BSNA support computer. No, we went from 23,586 to 3,768.
Right, that was, remember we were doing the
Is that the scanning
The
stuff?
scanner.
Okay,
scanner, yep,
3,768 is the support and
Yep.
software.
Yep.
Education and training, you doubled that to 1,200.
yes. Yeah, cause, one of our classes went up to $800 instead of $650.
Membership and mileage went from 600 to 850. I get that. Anybody else? Yes, no?
Membership.
Okay.
The education and training, I would take that to half. I would keep it at 600.
Well, the
It's
clerk
the
just said that there's a class
the
that's
class
more
is
than
800
600.
now. It's
Oh,
over
the
that. And
class
then I
is
do go
800.
to Education Day, any other things that they have.
Yeah, I'm fine with the education training as it is at 1,200 and the membership mileage at 850.
Wages board of review, punch doesn't get a dollar.
I know, they don't, really.
Their stipend now is,
54 something,
yeah,
plus $100 for
the
training.
$100 for training and mileage to go to training.
Oh my gosh, you doubled the meal price.
I'd like to ask the board to consider, board of review members getting a $75 stipend.
$75 stipend, alright.
Per meeting.
What's that?
That's, per meeting,
Yeah,
right?
per meeting, yeah.
Per session, yeah.
And so what would that change the wage to?
It was 54 something to 75.
Well, 75 times, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Are you gonna take that wage too, or as a member of the board, or you just?
No, I'm
doing-
the secretary.
Okay, good.
That's my statutory
So
responsibilities.
The wage for the Board of Review goes from 1,100 to what?
How many meetings are there, did you think?
They've got
There's,
three?
4 meetings, 5
3,
meetings?
6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15 times 75.
So 3 times 5, you're saying, is 15?
There's,
Th-
yeah,
those 15
15. We
each?
have, July, December.
Yeah.
We just had the orientation
3.
today, and then we have, 8, or 3, 6, 9, when you count all 3 of them, for,
So
next
there's,
week's, March Board of Review.
so there's 15 meetings times 3 people?
I believe so.
15.
No, 15 meetings is, it's 5 meetings with 3
Oh,
people,
it's
it's 15.
15.
Well, no, because,
We lost
okay,
me.
there's
People-
2,
July.
6.
Should
there's
be
2,
December.
4,
Really?
5, 6, 7, 8.
8 meetings.
8 meetings annually.
Times,
Times 3.
The
Eight-
two
that's
8
what I'm
meetings
saying.
times
Yeah.
3 times
Yeah.
75.
The afternoon
Times
is two
3
separate
equals-
I
meetings.
think they are.
24 times 75.
That's $1,800, yeah. 8 times 3 times 75 is 1800.
Okay. So we're gonna move it to 1,800 from 1,100.
75 for 4 hours is,
They do a good job.
seems fair.
It's hard to get anybody to wanna sit on. I was lucky to get John. Membership mileage,
So that'll change FICA. blah,
legal
blah, blah.
notices,
I'll get it.
that'll stay, meals,
When they do it, I'll get
I
it to
raised
you.
it to 200. I do buy them dinner during the 2, board reviews.
Okay, where are we? Sorry.
The meals
That's-
for
we're
Board
at,
of
The
Review.
meals is at 200,
Oh,
so.
okay, yeah.
You can get a cheeseburger for $10.
Did we vote on the increase?
Are we all in
Monica?
agreement with the increase? Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, no,
Okay. No?
no, yes, I'm for the increase
Okay,
on that.
all right.
Oh,
Okay,
wait, where?
on the
Yes.
Board of Review increase for
All
Monica.
right, okay. I thought we passed that.
We're on the treasurer wages, I believe.
Education and training's 900, because they're about and mileage, they're each $100. I think they have to go to school every 2 years,
Right.
so they kinda alternate. And, legal notices, 400, meals 200.
Yeah, the legal notices, we have to do it 3 times. They're $114 right now, so I've got enough in there.
What's that?
Okay.
For
The
the legal,
legal
we have to
notices
post
for
it 3
Board of
times.
Okay. Everybody good with those, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Wages treasurer,
Mine remains the same,
wages deputy treasurer,
the same.
Who's the
What-
deputy treasurer?
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin.
Are we gonna split how we?
Currently,
dividing it,
the,
or how we doing
yeah,
this?
currently there's no charges because the deputy is working here, full-time.
And is still assisting as deputy treasurer,
Correct. yeah.
because she has to do
But
the
I mean,
reconciliation.
Yeah, the last
As long
couple
as
days
it's
she's
working,
been
I
in
have
my
no
office.
issues with that.
Yeah.
But the
certainly.
no wages come out of there. That's why I'm asking, why are we keeping that?
Well, because we got another
It may
election
change.
coming up, and somebody could come in and bring another deputy in.
That's fine. I'm asking.
Health insurance stipend. Monica,
That's fine.
No,
No.
Jim? Okay, yes,
I'm fine.
I'm
Sarah?
fine, I'm fine.
Okay. Posted treasurer, 5,000. Everybody good?
I'm good with that. I have stayed under so far, so, and there's not a whole lot of mail going out right now. I did have to just send out, I got 3 tax payments, in the mail yesterday, and I had to send those, return those with a nice little letter thanking them, but I couldn't accept it, so.
Computer support maintenance treasurer, that's the current,
That's
yeah.
yes and A, yeah, I called them.
Education training, it's only 200.
Yeah, there's, I try and do any like little freebies and stuff at lunchtime and if there's something that I need to do, so I'm all right. And if it exceeds that,
Membership and
I-
mileage, you don't belong to the Treasurers Association?
I do,
They're only $40 a year.
and I don't
Well,
charge
that's
they're
because
mileage.
the
treasurers.
Supervisors Association likes to go to PF Chang's, it's the only reason it's 400. I go twice a year.
And I don't, expense my mileage.
Thank you for that.
It's part of the job.
And no miscellaneous expenses.
No.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Wages assessing, which is a, 45,360 that's contractual.
Yep, actually, I forgot to add that $1,200 in there, you know how it gets $100 for basic?
For basic
For
split.
basic, not for the splits, for basic assessing. It's called basic assessing, whatever it
On
does.
top
It's
of
a-
what he's contracting for?
Yeah, there's that $1,200 stipend.
Oh my
For,
gosh.
it's $100 a year, so it'd be 5117, or 5117.
Wait, why is, what is this?
It's called basic assessing. I know it's how they work on the splits, but they don't.
And this is a
It's
new
any land
charge that
changes, The
he's,
transfers and stuff like that.
The land divisions, all that stuff are in
Land
here.
division's separate.
so you said, I
But that's
misunderstood that. So you're saying
$1,500
his, that's something new
Yeah,
that's,
Land division, we never know. Those are $25 per parcel.
Yeah, and
The
that's
basic
just,
assessing is anytime he's gotta change anything on the parcels, owners. I know he just charges $100 every month.
so it,
Well, shouldn't that be part
Yeah.
of what he's
It's
contracted
was
separate.
right.
That's in his
that was-
contract. It
Yeah,
is
that
in
was
his
just a
contract.
general,
Oh my
yeah,
Yeah.
that was just a general charge, so
Yep, so it's $100.
1,200 for a year.
But 1,200, yeah.
oh,
I just don't wanna go over and have any budget amendments.
I know,
So
cause
that's added to the 52,
Yeah.
660?
to the,
Yep.
No,
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 it's
it's added to the 45,360.
45,360.
which is then added to the total.
45,360.
Well, either
it's
way,
46.
Oh, right
yeah,
here.
Yeah,
either
yeah,
way, it's gonna be the
45,360.
same.
Right.
Yeah.
46,560. Office
And so what,
supplies.
I'm sorry, but what's the, is that increase in the wages is what percentage? I didn't run that.
We had 5%, and then I figure he's gonna have another additional, so I kinda figured that in there too, so we don't go over, cause there's like 9 months with one wage, and then 3 months with the other, when it comes up in October.
Yeah, his contract changes for the end of the year.
So I figured 5 for that. Like I said, I don't wanna have to have budget amendments.
Thank you. I hate
Office supplies
budget
assessor,
amendments.
50. What did we vote on his, well, we can't really vote on his wage, it's contract,
Right, it's contract.
contracted.
Well, just to be clear, the contract doesn't spell out what the percentage is or how it's calculated.
It does.
No, it actually,
Yeah.
It was
He
5%.
put a percentage, yeah, he put a percentage right
It's-
in
It was
the
in his contract, it was
request. We
5%.
approved it.
every year?
Yep.
It changes every year.
Did I-
One time it was 4.3.
That's what I mean, the contract spells out what his
Yes.
percentages
Yeah.
will be
Yes.
every year.
Yep.
Yep.
I thought we had this discussion, anyway.
And remember
it's
I
in there.
gave you the comparisons?
Yeah,
Kelly
but
gave me
that's
that.
because I'd questioned how
Yeah.
it's determined, there's not a
Well,
clear,
he does it according to the computer price index.
but it,
that was-
yeah, his wage doesn't say that, or the
Postage
contract.
assessing, 2,400. Land division, 1,500. Computer support assessing, 2,000. Apex software support fee, 300. Education and training, 800. Membership and mileage, 250. Everyone good with that?
Yes,
General governmental, liability workman's comp insurance, 13,760. Life
Um,
insurance, what?
I guess I wanna see all new bids for all our insurance and auditors and, attorneys
That's
across the board.
should do that with,
Me too.
Okay, this is just the liability comp
Right.
insurance is 13,760.
Yeah, that's through 2024. That's for just the 1 year.
Life insurance governmental, 2,200. Office supplies, 8,500. That's up 3,500 bucks, what's that?
There was
What's
a
that?
whole lot of office supply ordering going on this year.
Yeah, I know, but we're,
But why? We gotta be cutting back, people. 45, let me say, I've taken that down.
Why is it, that is a lot of money, why is there something special, we just don't remember? What
it's
it-
more than half, anyway.
This year, there was a lot of, and I can't speak to last year, cause I've only been doing it for, I don't even know how long. There has been a lot of election materials ordered this year.
Would that go
But,
under
yeah,
this
it's
though?
not-
Election.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
So-
pins and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess historically you can see we're around 4,000, 5,000, so it's not,
Yeah,
I mean, it varies
4,600.
every year, but,
Wanna make that 7,500, Mary?
That's fine.
It's still more than it was.
You just don't know. Never know.
Everybody good with 7,500? Monica?
Sure, yep.
Postage, 3,000.
that's fair, probably should go higher, the way the post office keeps raising rates.
68
Master
cents an
plan
hour.
update was 6,500, cause they're climbing through. We still owe one more bill if they finish it. I don't know that we paid it yet.
I would
Chris
just
told
pay
me
it
to
and
hold on
be
to it.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
it's, they did get the, final thing, Laura did change one picture that, whatever, that we weren't, it's going, we'll be talking about the planning, we're not talking about the planning
Tomorrow.
commission. It's coming, everyone will have it, it's in their board packets,
I made copies.
but, I mean, it's in the commission members' packets and stuff too, but it goes out for the public to see now,
Okay, good.
so. But other than that, for the most part, we're done, and then the new planner will be at the meeting tomorrow night.
we're not, updating the recreation plan, zoning ordinance updates. That is, what, Caitlin's working
Wait.
on now.
Weed trim.
The audit, 11,300.
Now, Daniel called me. Did everybody read the paperwork?
Yeah,
yeah, so
Um,
that's for them to
This is
do.
for them to streamline the audit and get it done faster. They will do all of the end of the accounts receivable balances, capital asset roll forward, taxes receivable due from other governments, accrued interest balance, account balances,
Is that something
accrued wages.
This
you
is-
I
currently
don't do that.
I know,
No.
but this is all bookkeeping stuff, correct?
This is auditor stuff.
No, but I mean,
But
this
it's
is
all-
stuff that a
but is
bookkeeper
lot
would
of
do.
bookkeeping that-
This is like an accountant would do this.
There was,
That's
it's,
the
I've,
I'm not, no,
I don't
accountants.
There was like
understand I don't understand the moving
So-
stuff around to get the audit done. The audit is, I'm gonna pull some receipts out and make
Yep.
sure we got the paper trail.
Yeah, I'm,
Yep, we give him everything he needs, so. it's fine.
yeah, I don't know. My experience with auditors in the past is completely different than the way this auditor works. This auditor gives Mary a list of what they need from Mary and from me. And then we chase around and get all that and we put it all together. And then we get an email, oh, we need this, oh, we need that, oh, we need this, oh, we need that, and it's constant. And then they're here in the office for, is it 2 days, Mary? 3 days?
2 days.
And they we set up a table there in the middle, and they sit there and they come over to our windows and say, oh, we need this, oh, we need this, oh, we need this, oh, we need this. So I just open my door and say, here's my books, you come get what you want, cause I got other stuff to do. Any other auditor that I have ever worked with in the past with, public funds for schools and everything else, those auditors came in to the school district and, you know, they had set the date from May 1st to May 5th or whatever the hell the date
And
was.
then they're done.
And they're in there every single day in the finance office, whatever, every single day for 5 days. And then they take it back and they compile their report and then they present it. This is, Mary, I don't know if you've already started getting emails, but you probably will be soon.
Yeah,
From, say, April 1st until the middle of June when they decide to come out here, daily.
And
If we-
It's the most
other auditors in the past-
convoluted,
And
thing
other
I've ever
auditors
seen.
in the past used to always do they'd prepare the journal entries and then we'd do them.
You say this is what needs to be done, and you do
Well,
it, yeah.
again, this is one of the reasons why we looked at some of
Well, then
this.
you gotta just go.
Our auditing was
I
4,200.
know, as I say, go out to bid.
And 4250 in 1819, and
Yeah.
we're 10,950 going to 11,3.
Yeah,
Yep.
nope,
And now the 17,188 was when we had the additional audit work done, with Axis.
but,
That was $8,300.
yeah,
Well, 8,000 plus whatever we were paying
Oh.
already made it 17,188.
Yeah, and that proposal adds, basically doubles, their audit. It's $11,000 in bookkeeping or whatever, however you wanna call it.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a hard no on that, and I say we go out for bids and just
This'll be the
clean
last, this'll be
sweep.
the last year.
Yeah, well, so we need to go out anyway, but yeah, clean sweep, boof, done, bye.
So what are we saying with the 11,300?
Just keep it where it's at.
That's what that
Right,
is.
that's our
right.
contractual
That's it.
amount.
That's not the additional
Okay.
No,
that they
right.
came
no,
up with,
no,
okay.
No, that's not, no, that would be like.
There's no
a lot.
figures for bookkeeping.
If I can add something to that, I did talk to Daniel Clark, from Raymond. That'd be an additional about $10,000.
Yeah, no, I
Which we
gave them the
paid in the
paperwork.
past before, when we had another person in there that we paid 10 grand, 2 years in a
Now,
row,
what this
to have
is-
bookkeeping done.
This is 5 years. State of Michigan audit website reports. And prior, even in QuickBooks, we're not doing our general journal balances to our bank reconciliations. Not new. You all know that. You know that.
I know that.
That's what he's doing at the end of the year. That's what he's not going to do anymore because he cannot audit himself.
Right.
He
cannot
never
do it.
could, and
Well,
they
that's
did
what I
it
said
anyway.
today. That's what I said.
They've
Yep.
been doing it, they gave it to Camille, now they're doing it again. They can't audit themselves.
And that's what I put in
John
here.
and Daniel had a meeting last year when the audit was coming to an end, and he said, you need a bookkeeper. Told Mary, you need a bookkeeper. Mary was in agreement, then voted against it. Mary said, I'm not a bookkeeper. Our general journal is not balancing to our bank reconciliations. Mary initials it every month. When they do the bank recs, she puts her initials. What are you comparing that to?
Chris has all the bank statements
What do
attached
you
to it.
compare when they give you the bank rec?
The form that Chris gives me, I
What do
compare it
you-
to.
Well,
I'm not discussing with you.
No.
We're
what-
not putting the, $10,000 in there for.
No.
But that's what I'm
Bookkeep.
telling you, is that's the figure you're looking at.
Right.
So instead of doing that,
Get a bookkeeper.
let's figure out, well, right this minute, he's coming anyway. So instead of doing that and paying him another 10 grand, so now your audit's what, $22,000? Could've had the $25,000 bookkeeper. What Daniel said to me last week is he said, Robin, what you're doing is you're asking me to do your year-long bookkeeping in 40 to 60 hours. I'm cramming it in so I can do our audit. That's why I'm asking for extra people, and I'm asking for somebody in your office to be 100% incorporated with our people, because I'm gonna get in trouble. And I'm not gonna put my license on the line for the township, because I've been telling you guys for for 4 years, I can't do this.
We're
And
gonna
this
have
is
to.
the first
Do
time
other-
hearing of
This is
it.
the
Are we
first time
doing
I've heard of it
something
too.
This is him.
wrong?
So-
So
Something
we get
different what
more
other
out of it.
communities
Our-
are doing?
Well, but
General
the,
journal
but the
doesn't
fact
match-
remains that,
Doesn't
Don't
match
do
up to our
that.
bank statements.
Then
Any
why, when they
auditor's not
do
gonna be
the
able to do
audits,
that.
are they saying, everything's good, everything's good?
No, they're not.
It's because it's
Yes,
after
they
that's
are.
done, probably.
And that's because we're their customer.
Well,
But-
exactly.
so
they're
let's,
not honest, they're just saying like, it's
let's
good.
get a bookkeeper in here and a new auditor. Because in any auditor, I don't care who it is,
But you're-
like you
but
said,
you're approving a
cannot
budget-
audit
you're approving a
themselves.
budget right this minute for next year though, so you guys need to decide right now, if you're gonna pay this guy an extra $10,000 to do something he doesn't need to do, let's just do it ourselves. Do it ourselves. We can pull the bank recs, compare the general ledger, and figure out the mistakes.
I-
Make the adjustments ourselves. Do
Yeah.
the job we're supposed to be doing.
I agree.
It's not a $10,000 job. He just isn't, he's putting his foot down. He's irritated
Is
with
the,
us.
is the board,
And I don't blame him.
is the board in a position to put money in for bookkeeping? Doesn't mean it has to go to the auditor, but
I'm not-
Well, not being a financial person, I'll say I don't, it seems to me like it's something we could be doing that maybe we're not doing right. And I would say that a correction would eliminate the need for a bookkeeper, or am I wrong in stating that? Is there something that we should be doing? I don't know.
No, I think, I mean, there are things that we can do, as Robin said. I'm not a bookkeeper, so I would have to be, I mean,
Do
have to hire
other
need some
communities
assistance with
have
that.
somebody,
Other,
But-
they all
other
have other
communities,
staff.
they have,
Yes,
uh,
yeah.
yep, they have a bookkeeper.
Richmond
that comes
Township
part-time.
does?
yeah, and that's what I think.
Ray
It's-
Township does, yeah,
And-
they're 25,000.
And you have mentioned in the past that a bookkeeper would be a good idea, and you have also voted against it at the table. But
We
let's,
just hired an
Have someone
office
come
staff for
in once a month. They could only
22,000.
They could even come in once a month.
absolutely,
Could have hired a bookkeeper.
we don't need someone in here every single day,
Well,
but
no,
we
yeah,
don't,
unfortunately, I was late.
Somebody
for
has
that
to tie
meeting,
those
so I
together.
did.
right, but we do need somebody, and let's get somebody
Bi-weekly,
in here.
monthly.
Or we have whoever.
We're already
handling
over
the general
budget.
ledger.
Right, but I would rather pay a local person who is a bookkeeper.
Were we paying like
And
an
actually, we
accountant
used to have
that Mike
someone years
would hire
ago-
for once a day?
We
Is that what
had
we
Somebody
a
come in and
bookkeeper
troubleshoot once a
when
month,
Joan
once every 2 weeks,
Parnagian
something.
was here.
And even when Marge
then he
was
quit.
here, Chris Krim would come in here every month.
Who?
Her name was Chris Krim. She would
He
come
was
in here
an
every month.
accountant, wasn't he?
Mhm,
Yeah.
She was an accountant. Then she moved.
Do you wanna put money, this is the question, we're setting the budget, we're not hiring somebody. Do you
Yep.
wanna put any money in the bookkeeping budget line to get that straight?
Like, you mean $5,000 or $2,500? Obviously, if we're paying 10, that's like paying the
I
auditor.
think 6 there. Start there.
If it's one day a month,
Well,
Well, I don't know.
at least 5,000, so there's money in there.
Yeah,
All right.
let's start with that.
You're starting with, well, how much?
5.
5.
5,000?
In bookkeeping.
I think we already have a line for that too. Is there a line number
Yeah.
we got there?
804-000.
Monica?
Way off
Yeah,
on this page.
we gotta
Jim?
do
There's
something.
not one on
Yes.
there.
Okay,
It was
so
there,
this
an old
one,
one.
261-804-000.
Mary, you good with that?
Yep.
Sarah?
264.
Yes.
804-000. Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Financial advisor, bond rating,
So
we-
Raymond is gonna be here, you said the auditor is gonna be here, oh no, the
Daniel.
insurance guy,
you know, we're gonna be,
so the auditor.
we're gonna be
gonna be
hitting
a good
that
meeting.
fire station here next year. The financial advisor and bond rating, it's not necessarily a bond rating, we can get a bond, that's not a problem. But we're gonna need to be able to pay a financial advisor to set the bond up for us.
Right, and I have no idea what those
Shouldn't that be
costs
paid by
are,
the fire department though?
but
Right, paid by the fire department though.
I did, print off the last 4 months of these notices from, not, from Robinson Capital, that gives us a
Okay.
monthly commentary on short-term bond strategies. And, I'll be the first to tell you this over my head, cause
Well, my whole thing too, I guess
But
about putting money in
rates are
for a
dropping.
financial advisor or bond rating, even if the fire department takes the bond, the township is on the hook for it, so we're gonna really have to have the financial advisor to tell us how this is put in place correctly, properly.
And you don't think if it's for a fire project that the cost should come out of the fire fund?
Oh, it absolutely should come out of the
Well,
fire fund.
I know that the fire fund should be responsible for the construction and engineering and all that kind of stuff, but I think making sure that the loan is in order is a function of the township.
I think that should still come out, the fire department is part of the township, I think that should still come out of the
All right.
fire fund. I mean, so if we have to,
I didn't
think
see
it should
financial
as well.
advisor in the chief's.
I mean, just might need to have a new line item for that, if that's the case.
It's got a capital outlay.
There,
Now, we
yeah, there's
have,
contractual.
IT support and service contracts, 21-6.
Yep.
That's our, solvent.
Yep.
MTA membership mileage, 8,000. Legal
Now,
notices.
is this where you wanted to put the $852 for?
Yeah, thank you. I think that,
SEMCOG?
I think that,
I
SEMCOG
wanted, I
should get
wanted
moved
to
to
take the
here.
membership and mileage and put it up into governmental expenses.
well, this is general governmental, so I
This is,
think,
yes, general
Oh,
government,
okay.
yeah.
I
so
think it
put
should move to here, yeah.
SEMCOG plus an eight, plus eight
So
fifty
where,
two,
where SEMCOG was?
plus
Yeah, correct.
8,852.
And so then the line item is not gonna be, the line item for the SEMCOG.
Just get rid of the
and this are
MTA.
all the same.
Just call it membership mileage instead of
Membership
MTA.
mi- yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my thought is too, is you wanna leave education and training in the governing body.
But then SEMCOG dues
Under,
is
SEMCOG.
not
How much is-
educating and training, it's
Yeah,
under
this
MTA.
SEMCOG should go down into its own
How
deal.
much is, SEMCOG?
852,
So you,
that's what it
Yeah.
was last time.
you put,
So it's under governmental,
yeah, so you just move that
that amount
$900,
to,
say,
yeah.
leave 600 in the one and
Right,
put 900, add 900 to membership and mileage, so
and
it,
take the SEMCOG dues out of it. That's education and training
So
government
add
for
900 to
trustees.
line item, whatever, and take 900 out of SEMCOG.
and add it to membership mileage.
Wait a minute.
So here I took 900 out of that.
101, 101, 830. 101, 101.
The SEMCOG, you said
Right
it's
here, yep.
900?
Take SEMCOG out of here.
Okay, and then
And
I added SEMCOG to the 900 to this.
Okay, I got that. 8,900.
Got
Right.
it?
8,261,860.
Yeah.
Yep, 8,900. And the other one, education and training, 1,500. You're taking the minus the 900, so
Right.
900. Minus the 900, okay.
So that would
minus
be
900, yep,
600.
600, yep.
And this will be
Okay,
8,900.
600.
Legal notices and publications, 4,300. Utilities,
Wait, wait, wait,
5,500.
wait.
Internet, phone, website, and alarm, 9,000.
Quick question on utilities. Went down 1,000, but yet all of the utility costs are going up.
Well, we only used like
4,800.
4,800,
Well,
yeah,
today,
4,890.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's
so I think
Sorry.
that number was
Yeah.
just high
I was
There
before.
might be
looking at
another
the
400.
pre-budget.
It might be another 400 coming.
Internet, phone, website, and alarm, 9,000. Copier, supplies, and maintenance, go ahead.
Quick question on internet, phone, website, and alarm. Do we have cameras in here that, or don't we need more cameras in here?
No, we have enough cameras.
There's one right there.
That's
Yeah.
the
There's- In fact, in
internal.
the closet, you can see where they all are. If you wanna get a bigger screen,
Yeah, there's one in the park, one in the front porch, and one in the side door.
yeah.
So that camera there
go
Here's
this
the hall.
way.
is the hall, but there's nothing,
No, well, that's the one we use for our meeting, it's up on the wall there.
But that's not a security.
That's not
camera.
hooked up to the security system.
that one up there?
Yeah, that's
Over
hooked
the
up
mail?
to the,
That's
that's
just-
hooked up to the YouTube
Right.
feed.
Can that be-
Ernie said you need a new monitor, he said the monitor you have
Yeah, that's
here
what I, yeah.
is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that,
that's
it
what I
needs to
did,
be
yeah.
about 4 feet lower.
Yeah, well, he said to put it on the side over here, but
Okay,
I haven't had a chance to get that, so I was kinda busy with the
And he
election.
said you don't have a camera back here,
right.
you only have one.
Yeah, he likes
Right.
them to look at each other.
Right.
Mhm.
But don't
Yeah.
we need something this way
He-
too,
he
for good
suggested-
coverage for,
He said he has suggested putting something in the back, and he has also suggested in the past a couple times that that monitor is like from Sears Roebuck.
Yeah, he just said to get one from Amazon.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I
Yeah.
haven't
Even
yet to
just
do
a
that, but
TV.
it's on my list.
You know,
Right.
Yep.
maybe even just to get it. He said you put it out anywhere, he said you can do a wall.
He said on that wall over there.
We're still leaving
flat
9,000 in there?
Yep.
Everybody good
Cause
with
we
that?
still have to redo the website, and that's 1,700, so,
Yes.
And that's, the 1,700 is in that?
up that, yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Copier, supplies, and maintenance, 4,000.
Yep.
500 for miscellaneous expenses.
Why was that miscellaneous 8177? That is a very high miscellaneous.
I can explain that.
Okay, that would be great.
Chris Martin, that went into the trust and agency
It was up like 6,800.
Well, it was off like, about 90-some thousand
Yeah,
dollars.
Yeah.
when it
She-
started.
90,000?
Yeah,
So she
when
went
she
back
started it.
many, many years, and it gets to a point, it gets to a standpoint where you're going back so far, you're at a stalemate, and you're digging back. Now, the ones that were written off that Raymond suggested, the auditor was involved, and got to here, and he said it gets to here, it was from 2006. One of them was Akowski, one of them was, I can't remember the other one's name, I do have them. It's too, it was money we were supposed to collect, we did not. We can't go back now. It's a write-off.
And that was the line item we put it in.
Right.
It's our,
Yeah,
it's
I
our
remember
loss.
that.
So what the auditor suggests was to put it in miscellaneous expense, just to get everything in balance with the trust and agency general ledger account. And then I'm sure at the point at the end of the year, I'm sure he's gonna wipe that out and put it into a bad debt, bad expense, bad whatever he would suggest. I can't imagine he would leave that as an open balance as far as, I don't know anyone who leaves miscellaneous open. So I would assume he's gonna shut that out. But Chris did do an adjustment today for about it was about $5,600. So there's going to be left in that miscellaneous expense account about $2,800. So that's the amount that's gonna have to be adjusted. So, but that is what that was, and that went back quite a few years. But she did, in her defense, and of course, we all know her experience and her IT experience, she did balance all of it. She went and tore through files upstairs and got the rest of it balanced. She returned checks to people who were owed money, and she collected some money that I'm shocked people paid. That we got a hold of it and said, you owe us money from 5-6 years ago. And they sent in checks, which blew my mind. I know what I would have said. But anyway, but that is what that is.
Okay.
So, and that's all of it is trust and agency. That's all that is in that.
That's why we shouldn't pay her, Jim.
But that's all that is in that line.
She helps with all that
is
stuff.
trust and
But you know what? That's something that you were over,
not a
the
reflection
building
of her, yeah.
secretary.
Yeah, it's
She
a
was
reflection
under-
on abilities.
Christine White was under your supervision and only yours, only yours. And yet she was, the auditors
Just
had
saying.
directed her to do that, and you never made her do it. So this ultimately is on you. If Robin still lived in Armada, she could run for supervisor, and you could be her deputy and not get paid.
She's looking for her real job. Refunds $1. Service charges $100. Interest expense none. It's for a total of $114,762 for general governmental, but we gotta add $5,000 to that, so it's gonna be 119,762.
You're actually adding 5,900, I think, but,
The other 5,000 came from bookkeeping.
yeah, we added 900 mileage,
5,000
membership.
from bookkeeping to that, makes it that.
We had,
It was 114,
Remember, we added, took that 900
Yeah.
out of the one.
oh, that's
out
right,
of
we moved it.
SEMCOG and added it
Yeah,
to the.
we moved it, right.
Sorry, this, okay. Yep, okay.
Which made the other one shrink by $900.
Yeah, that was, but that'll get flushed out
Yeah,
automatically,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, I make my notes. Wages selections, employers FIC, or wages elections, 22,500. That's double what we had budgeted this year.
Has to do with the
Well, we got
number
two
of
more
elections.
elections. We have 2 more elections, you got early voting in there.
And these are township expenses, or it's not anything that's reimbursable by the
Some of
state?
it
They'll
reimbursed.
reimburse,
A portion?
portion.
Do you have any idea what that percentage might be, or no?
Well, I did see some election back in the, income.
Yeah, cause they're gonna reimburse
There was
us.
election reimbursement there. So
They
for,
reimburse us for February and I think,
election reimbursement was $5,000 from last year. We're saying it's 22.5 this year?
There's
Well,
a lot more work
Good,
this year,
because that's
for sure.
22.5 is what we're budgeting. Okay,
under voting materials, equipment, /computer, I wanna add another $500, cause we did have a problem with our laptop and we had to call IT to come the day before the election. And we were here till 8:30, 9:00.
and you're adding 1,500 to this?
5150 make it, was 4650. Because things do happen.
Postage elections is still 4,200?
Yep.
Education and training, 1,000?
Right.
Membership and mileage, 800? Legal notices and publications, et cetera, 2,200? Meals, 1,000?
Right.
Everybody good? Jim?
Yep.
Sarah?
Yep. We don't have a choice yet.
Operating supplies, contractual services, only $1. Snow and grass services, 5,500. All repair items, cleaning, 5,000. Why'd that go down?
There was something in there that we had, I'm trying to remember. I can't recall what it was.
Furnace or something. Some repair.
I know, I still gotta get Dean to send that dang
Yeah,
invoice
yeah,
in for the
yeah.
pipe on the back of the building.
Yep.
Okay, repairs, property expenses, miscellaneous expenses, office remodeling. The building and grounds last year was 28,715, this year it's 15,656.
Okay.
Let's get more bat.
God, well, you shouldn't be a guarantee on the
Attorney.
bats, now squirrels might
Want
be
that
a little
attorney
different story.
taken down to half of that. There was a
Miscellaneous.
lot of two board members contacted over the same issue. That is too much, they don't need to be, I would cut them in half, I want them at 10,000.
Okay. Jim?
For the 10,000?
Yep.
Yeah, cause I got four
Instead of 20,000.
complaints in court
boo-boos.
right now.
You got boo-boos in there?
I'm looking at the historically, the 10,000 is too low in my opinion. And I'll say that sometimes it's not truly a duplicate call, it's a response and then a call for additional clarification. But I do agree 100% that we should be making sure we get written responses so we're not paying for unnecessary
Okay, what
expenses.
court, because you said you got 4, who are they? What are they? What are the court
Boo-boo,
cases you got? Boo-boo?
Well, we're at a budget workshop.
Okay, I'll bring it up next week.
Oh, that's okay.
Boo-boo,
Here,
boo-boo,
hand
okay.
this to her.
Yeah, because right now, we've got a bill for $4,000, so I think 20's,
I'd leave it at 20.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay,
rather
going
have it
lower
at
than 10.
20 and only need
Use 10,
15
yeah.
than put it at 10 and spend 20. So,
keep it at 20.
I mean, just everyone needs to be cognizant of, you know, a 2-minute phone call is a quarter-hour
So
bill.
we're leaving it at 20?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Monica, no?
Huh? No,
Okay,
No.
Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Wages, staff assistant was 20,904. She's not getting, cost of living or anything.
Okay. That's
Ordinance
fine with it.
enforcement,
Is that going okay? I know it's
oh yeah.
not
Yeah,
the time to
she's
talk
doing a
about
great
it, but.
job.
Yeah,
okay.
she's been doing all kinds of scanning. They got that new scanner in there, now they gotta get a
Yeah, they're gonna be coming out.
Bluetooth thing or
Yeah,
something.
they're gonna be coming out when they bring our laptop back that they had to
Okay.
fix.
so
Now,
my thing is like, we wanted somebody to answer phones and stuff like that. So when she's done scanning, is she gonna be answering the phone?
she does
Is
fill
she
in-
doing that
does.
now, too, in addition, while she's?
Well, she's not answering the
Because we're
phone
still
because,
going through the system, it's like,
Right.
you know what, I'm
Oh,
busy, I got
okay.
like 5 minutes to call. And I gotta go through that whole process. It's like, just pick up the phone and say hello and direct me to where I need to go.
Yes, I agree. I've seen her answer the phone when I have.
I haven't had anybody answer the phone in like the last 5 times that I've called. It's annoying.
Yeah, I can't speak for every time, but.
Okay, but that's her wage. She doesn't get a cost of living this year.
Right, I'm good with that.
Ordinance enforcement, 15,000. I wanna break this up a little. We need to move 1,000 of that to membership and mileage. And I also wanna add one in there for postage, cause we are sending out a boatload.
I was gonna ask you, when,
A
you've
boatload
got
of
nothing
letters.
for postage
Right.
under there.
Right, so I'm gonna say $400 anyway for postage.
Okay.
And again, you can move that down out of the 15,
Okay.
so
I'll take the 14 out, or the
1,400 out of there.
400 out.
Then the
Liquor inspections
1,400 was
is
for
16,600.
the mileage.
1,000 added to mileage and 400 added to postage.
Okay, 13,600 for wages, postage 400, membership mileage 1,250.
Yep. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Wages
Who's
and
doing, who is getting paid for this?
Apparently nobody.
nobody,
Okay,
because Robin's doing most of it.
okay. Well, hopefully you're paying her.
Yeah, that's
She's
funny.
your secretary.
That's funny.
I think
Yeah,
it is
it is a
funny.
joke.
We're paying you for doing
Yeah.
nothing, so you might as well pay her.
Actually, no, he's not paying me. I do have a pony in this race. I've got kids and grandkids in this township, and that's important to me. It really is. It's important to me. If I have the time, I don't have a problem doing it.
Wages inspections, 35,000. Wages special inspections, nothing there. Electrical wages, 9,000, mechanical wages, 9,000, plumbing wages, 6,000. Secretary wages, 31,096. Would she get the cost of living? No?
Nope, she's getting a
Been here a hot minute.
$2,500 vacation.
She didn't ask for it.
Well, she's still.
No, she
going,
didn't ask
so-
for it. I was just asking the board. I mean, considering she's not charging to be deputy treasurer at the same time. Vacation, employee, FICA, Medicare, there's no health insurance, no retirement. Office supplies, 500, postage, 200, computer support and maintenance, 1,405, membership and mileage, 1,500, telephone, building, 1,600, refunds, 1,000, for a total of 105,885. Anything? Guys, yes, no?
It's good.
Sure.
It's all fine.
All right. Sirens maintenance, DTE, 15,400. I can't believe it still costs $42 a month to run a siren
Yeah,
that
$42.
turns on a minute and a half a month.
Yeah.
Street lighting, 3,800. No wastewater plant. Public works areas, 19,240. Roads maintenance, chloride, 25,000. We went down to one treatment. Drain maintenance, we didn't put a budget in. I was trying to get Acavedi to tell me what needed to be done, but his father passed away.
Oh.
And so he's been kind of on a,
Yeah, 'cause they wanted us to do it 50-50.
yeah, they had some, but we still have money left over. We still have money left to be used on us.
Oh, okay, we didn't,
So-
oh, all right.
He was
So they
supposed,
didn't use all that for the,
right, he was
Oh.
supposed to give me the information on that, but
okay, yeah, if you can find out how much is left.
30,000 for limestone.
Did we
I
find
did talk
out?
again to the county, and the county told me again, after Don Brown told me that they were going to, gravel the dead end roads. The county said, they won't, they're not going to. The county
I was
road
told that
commission-
their employees, their staff would do it. But I haven't, not part of the limestone contract, but part of their general maintenance with their trucks.
Well, I don't know, but right now, I got that as soon as yesterday. That, and that's when I got the
Yeah.
call that,
Then I
Boardman
say
should
we
be
don't do
considered at the
limestone
north
this
end.
year.
I don't know
I
that I
think
put
we have
an application on Boardman. Kind of looked at as the St. Clair line.
All the roads are done except for the little
Yeah, so I say we don't do limestone
Florence
this year.
and,
So I
Florence and Dayton?
crossed it up with the one that I had too.
Oh, man.
But no.
That's a done deal.
I'm still really hoping they go 3 inches. I really want them to go 6
But-
miles. We still got
They need
dirt
to do
roads.
the one, they need to do the dead end that needs it, that the guy's been
yeah,
wanting
Right.
it
Get a drink
forever.
water real
So,
quick.
Yeah.
yep. Just leave it in there.
yeah, so I say, no more limestone. If they can't
Take a
do
year
that little
off.
bit, then we're
Alright.
gonna take a
Take
year off.
Take a
No,
year off.
I'm saying this, I wouldn't, that's $200,000 worth of limestone for 30 grand. That's 200,000, that's 10% of the cost.
Okay, but if
$300,000
they're
project.
putting limestone on roads that don't need it, and the roads that do need it
Aren't
are
getting
not
any.
getting it,
Yeah,
Well,
and we're over budget.
I still wouldn't pass on $300,000 worth of limestone for 30
But then
grand.
I mean, if we could
I mean,
get
our
it,
roads, I mean, it does increase the,
Well,
I'm still wanting to put down
if
less.
we could get it, keep it somewhere and go do those, dead ends ourselves, then fine. But we've got nowhere. They're
Yeah,
not
the dead
helping
ends
us
wouldn't-
out.
The dead ends wouldn't take one application.
No, I know.
One comment I would have is leaving it in the budget does not mean we're authorizing the expense, so we could
That's true.
leave it here, and if we don't get favorable conditions, then not do the program, I mean.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Jim.
All right. Everybody good with,
Yep.
roads?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and say it, Monica.
no, I take it out.
Okay. Spalding to Decker,
We're gonna need $44,000
40,
for
yeah. Actually 30, so 45 total.
45 total.
Because of the,
Engineering,
Yep.
construction engineering on the senior parking lot and entrance.
Okay, 45.
and that doesn't, again, doesn't get charged to that park
The
No,
senior
it's-
center?
as far as,
Well, we're separating
Well, it's
engineers,
still
I
in the-
mean,
Yeah,
it's under
still-
engineering instead
I
of.
mean, it's
our-
part of the general
Yeah,
fund, I guess,
It's
but,
engineering, it's oversee a township project is what it is.
okay.
Wages transfer site, 1510. All that stuff, transfer site monthly expense is 70,791. That's for the year, it's not monthly. All of a sudden, I thought I said, yeah, 70,791 a month, I'm going into the garbage business. Maintenance transfer site's 1,500. Maintenance cemetery, oh, is everybody okay with that?
And there is only 1 year left on that?
This
Yeah.
is the last year,
25.
correct?
Goes through February 25.
Okay.
We need to consider charging people that use it. I mean, $25 for a sticker on.
I
Yeah.
tried that last year,
I
didn't go.
know.
Well, we can do that. Everybody,
The 79,000.
the transfer site, yes,
Can't
no?
afford it, can't afford it.
This is,
Yes, I mean, it's contractual,
I mean,
so.
we have a year, we signed a
Okay.
contract, so,
Right.
yeah, but we need to look at. recouping
maintenance
some of that.
cemetery,
I had all the
3,500.
numbers. Okay,
Senior municipal smart credits, 2,401. Senior smart community credits, 5271.
Okay.
Pell smart community credits, 5271. ASAP's out. Smart community credits out. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right.
not really, but
Planning commission, wage, planning. Do we bump them?
Let's see.
Cost of
I think
living?
DJ's 80 something and Sarah it's like 77. It's an odd amount of money. I mean, he even could,
Well, my
'cause he never used the budget.
my proposal would be to give them 3.2% cost of living
3.2%, okay,
to their per diems.
okay.
Postage planning, plan divisions, planning site plan reviews, engineering, 8,000, community planner, 8,000. PDR committee, 750, education and training, 1,000. printing and publishing, for a total, planning commission expense of $28,024.
That
And I'll-
might
and I'll-
change,
And
right?
I'll tell you what, Caitlin is awesome.
Oh, you, and have you met her
Yeah,
yet?
I like her.
Caitlin is awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any questions about
Found
that?
a lot of
Anybody have a
Will
problem
you,
with giving them,
3.2,
Kirsten,
their-
you're looking
on
at
their
the private
stipend?
road thing again.
I don't have any issues with that.
Monica?
Yeah, she's,
Yep, I'm good with that.
I got that on the list too.
You guys good with that?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Wages ZBA. ZBA gets a stipend per meeting too.
Yeah, 3.2%.
Yep. How much do
Yeah,
they
I
get though?
feel-
Don't they get $50 or something?
It's an odd amount. It's like 54.04.
$54.04?
Well, I think if you get
Can we just
border
round 'em
review
up?
or whatever, I mean, you need to do,
Well, that's what I mean, Board of Review's getting 75, and these guys are on call maybe once or twice a year.
yeah.
I think their stipend should be 75.
75. I have no problem with that.
What does that equate to? We don't
Well,
know.
there's no guarantees for the meeting, so I think
Right.
the
Yeah,
budget's
yeah,
still
it's not a
acceptable.
lot. There's
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 'cause there wasn't only 2 meetings
two,
last year.
yeah, I think so.
Monica?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Wages park, 7,200. FICA, Medicare, Home Orchard Trail, 7,000.
Yep.
Membership and mileage, 250. Utilities, park, 600. Maintenance park, 14,000. Maintenance pavilion, nothing. Park improvements, North Avenue, 270.
That's just the parking lot.
Yep, and that's it.
299,602.
Yep.
Anybody?
That's fine.
I'm not for
Kim?
that 270 for that.
I mean, I'm
I'm
not
not for
necessarily
that at
for
all.
that project, but, that to me is a decision at the board anyway.
It's
So
terrible.
we can keep it in there if,
That's terrible. In the senior center parking lot, it's terrible.
well, we're not
Well-
reconstructing the senior center parking lot, it's the end
But
of
It's
it.
that
just
is
that-
getting
I
fixed.
had a
It is-
90-year-old senior going
She
to a
went in the
bingo
ditch.
game, driving the ditch, because she couldn't see the entrance.
But how's that different than a home driveway? I mean, if she driving the ditch at her house,
I'm only worried about it when she's coming to our
Well,
place.
You know what, we had a guy that almost lost his Lego on Center Road. So what do? If we don't make anything, no improvements for the road out there by Blake's. So,
yeah, that's just my
Office
concern.
just
improvements,
It's a lot of money.
2,500.
What?
Office improvements, 2,500 in capital outlay.
Wait, you missed
We're
the
at senior center.
Yeah, this is where,
Wait, are we at the senior center?
we're the senior center.
Yes.
Okay, so did we start with, senior center wages?
Correct.
How many hours is this position, do you know?
Well, actually, I gave the
What is she
board,
currently
Here,
work?
this
for
is,
the policies and procedures.
but there's still so many, variables to what Donna does. I mean, some weeks she has more active activities and some weeks less. I just wanted to offer this to the board. What if we were to, because she's at 17 or 15,617 right now, what if we were to make it 19,000 and pay her a salary? Like
I
we do
still
with
prefer
Gary.
it be hourly myself.
She's fine with the $17.
When I talked to her today, she told me, again, she loves her job, and that's why she always ends her report that way. And I, said, you do a great job, you have a lot of great programs. Everyone's happy with everything. And she said that she is not looking for anything, that she loves her job so much, she absolutely loves it and would do it for free. And I said, well, and so I'm telling you, I'm not looking.
Did you record it?
No.
What is her
No,
wage
I
now?
$16.20.
didn't. But I say she is very happy with what she gets, and,
Yeah, she didn't get the extra hours. She said she was good with 18,000.
But if we were to take her to 19,000 and make her salary, she could work 25 hours one week and 15 the next, depending on what her schedules are. We don't have to worry about hours and budgets and all that.
okay,
It's
just
just like Gary at the park, give him $760 a month, he handles the park. I bet you Gary puts in more hours at the park,
Yeah, he does.
And so does she.
so
Yep.
would the board consider 19,000 on his salary?
I don't know.
no, I like
I
that
like the,
18,000.
Yeah, I'd say
I
the park
just-
is a little different than the senior director, so it's kind of
Still a lot of hours out
event-based,
of
and then
somebody's,
I would like to.
still a lot of hours out of somebody's life, and
Well,
the
I mean,
senior
she gets
director is
paid
very
for
important.
that, though,
Right.
yeah. She gets paid by the hour, so to me, that makes the most accurate reflection of what she does.
Well, we'll
And she
take that off her
does her
plate,
job.
and she can do whatever she wants to run the center.
Well, to put in perspective, because we figured this out, and I'm sorry to interrupt. If she works, it's open 15 hours a week?
20?
No, it's open 15 hours a week.
Well, it varies, doesn't it, Marcia?
No, it's more than
Isn't
that.
it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 times, yeah, it's like 5
It's
hours.
open Monday
That's
through
It was
Thursday.
50, it was 15 to 20, 15 to 20. It just depends.
Organizing tickets
So,
and getting
no, I'm
things
saying
scheduled.
how much is the center open to the
9
public?
to 2, 9 to 1, 9 to 2.
3 days a week.
About 4, to 4.
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday normally.
And then there's gotta be some prep time.
Yeah, a lot of times during.
She takes things home.
That's about 20 hours a week.
Right, so
Right.
I mean, for on-site
20
stuff
hours a
she's
week.
doing to just be there,
Right.
if at 18,000,
Well,
she's making 17.
Well, some of the
An
stuff
hour.
that she's doing now, in the discussion that she and I had today, we're gonna kind of tweak that a little bit. So I'm fine with leaving it as is at 18.
Like, are there events every time it's open? She potentially can do some prep work while
Well, she
she's
does do
sitting
that.
Oh,
there.
yeah,
She does do that. She
runs
prepares
the
things
place
before.
well.
Mhm.
She runs the
She
place
does
well.
a great
Certainly, I
job.
don't expect her to work at home, you know, on her
Well,
own
she does do
time,
that
or if
too.
she
She
does,
takes
then
things
she's
home.
getting, you know,
Who doesn't?
yeah, that's
So
true.
she, like I said, she's good with the $17 an hour and just leave the wage at 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if times dictate we need to change, we
Medicare
could
supply.
consider
And
that.
if it,
I'm sure the
Off-
people give her presents and things to
Marcia.
Marcia, right?
Yeah, but presents are hard to pay electric
you're not
bill with.
supposed to take presents.
Office supplies are 1,000.
Oh, that's true. Oh, elected officials.
Postage
Oh,
seniors
she
is
can.
1,000, utilities seniors 3,400, internet phone 3,400, maintenance seniors 6,000. Bingo crafts, picnics 5,000, event tickets 5,000, senior paid bus trips 2,700, no miscellaneous expenses, for a total of 46,877 to run the senior center.
Okay.
Anybody?
Fine.
No issues.
Monica?
Nothing's good.
Jim?
Good.
Everybody? Capital outlay, office improvements, 2,500, that's for the monitor for the security system, right? No remodeling planned, capital outlay, none. Computer miscellaneous, 1,500, was that where you're gonna get the computer? Cause you added that 1,500 into another line.
No,
She had
the 500
500.
for the elections. I put that under elections.
I thought there was another computer we talked
And
about.
that was under, yeah, that's under Solvite, that was under where the phone and, yeah, the internet, phone, website, and alarm. That's the $1,700 there.
So are these two different computers? So this 1,500 is in the budget for that computer, or?
There's only $500 for the laptop. There's $1,700 to update the website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's what that was.
And so what's this computer miscellaneous?
Sewer and engineering permits, 1,000. Go ahead.
Which one?
Sarah.
What's this computer miscellaneous 1,500?
Just in case we have issues with anything. John said to put $1,500 in there, in case, I don't know if that one dies or something.
Okay, just wondering.
Sewer engineering permits, 1,000. Engineering alternate, 1,000. Building fund, 485,111.
I got a question on that. Where's
Yeah.
that number coming from?
You gave us that last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, do we put what's in a CD in a budget to spend?
No,
No,
so that shouldn't even be in
no,
there.
it should, capital
Yeah.
outlay should
No.
not be in there.
Cause it's really throwing our bottom line out of line.
Right,
So that needs to come out of there.
right, and that's, yeah, that was my main thing.
Yeah, all right, so remove that,
Yeah, thank you.
okay. All right,
What the heck did I do with that?
Making our capital outlay now $3,500.
I guess just a
Like
comment.
your capital outlay, what? $3,500?
Nope. I got another page on there. $13,500. No, 2,500. Wait a minute.
No, office, you can.
5,000.
You're just throwing numbers around like
Yeah,
it's
it's going too fast.
candy.
I can see the finish line.
Okay, so what is the capital outlay?
Well, that's, for that fund, it's,
Okay, we
looks
got
like about $6,000
$6,001.
in one. Again, I had made a comment at the Chiefs, every community is a little different, there's different ways to do it, and of course, I have my own experiences. I think this, certainly there's years where we spend more because we saving up for capital projects, like the parks in there, that throws the number. What makes it hard to see is because we don't show our starting fund balance in here, we don't have funds, we don't have separate funds for saving capital, so it's kind of, it's all lumped in, but we don't have that number, so it makes it, I think, look worse than it is, because we don't
Right.
see how much money we have, we just see how much revenue we're projecting this year, and in the revenue, we don't
What our
show,
expenses are.
we don't show under the revenue what our starting fund balance is, which might, it would help, show that we're so fiscally sound, you know, and I would just say that might be something worth looking into, to ask what other communities do, or ask our auditors, or BSNA, can we add those items, or should we be adding those items? Again, the community I work for, that's what they do, and it makes it certainly easier for me to, are we spending money that we have, or that we don't have, so, just a comment.
And the thing, and I think they should be shown, I think all the funds that it's the people's money. I think that they need to see what we have and what are we planning for.
And I agree, but in my mind, I'm not a bookkeeper, I'm not an accountant. In my mind, the money that we have in savings and investments, it's an asset. It should not be in a capital outlay
Like
expenditure,
the
because it's
value
only an
of buildings
expenditure
or something.
when you spend it.
Right.
Oh, I'm not saying it should
But
be
it's
an
an
expense.
asset to
No, it
have.
should not
It
be.
should be
but
in the
it should
fund
be
balance
shown,
under
it should
revenue.
be- Exactly. Like, we used to have it in a fund balance. So any money that wasn't spent this year went into net, it
Well, that's what we
was
get,
shown as
that's
a
what we
fund
get in the audit,
balance.
that's what we get in the audit, we get an ending fund balance and a beginning
Right.
fund balance. That's what the audit
But,
is.
yeah, and I see what you're saying, so like right now, our, as of January 31st, our, general fund investment account has $97,039.21. Our building fund, again, as of January 31st, has $262,208.70.
So why was that building fund, it's been showing that 485 to 111 for months,
No, for 2
years.
And we haven't
So-
been investing that long, so I honestly couldn't tell you.
Take it out.
Cause if I don't see it in a choice one account, in a investment account, in a CD, whatever,
Doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist.
I have some input on that. 'Cause at the time that was thrown in there, it was two bank balances that came together to equal that amount. And it was tossed in there to be called capital improvement to go into a building. The problem with that is you don't put cash in a budget. Your budget is only what you're going into, how much am I bringing in, how much am I going to allocate.
Projected
Your
expenses.
cash is sitting over here, you still have it, it's still sitting there, it can sit on your budget, here's how much we have as a separate line item, just to let the board know and the people know.
Right.
Here's how much we have in the bank.
But it should be in the budget.
But it's not like covering payroll,
Right.
it's not, paying the electric bill.
But a lot of people may not know how much we have in the bank. So call it a building fund, it was allocated as that, is it gonna be used at that? Maybe not.
That would be a board
Is it
decision.
Sewer and water, is it gonna be used for that? Maybe not, but that's what we called it. So, but bottom line is, people may wanna see that, just as a separate line item, just shove it up there, it doesn't have to be in your totals. Here's how much we have in the
Right.
bank. Separate from that, here's what we think we're getting in this year, here's what we think we're gonna spend this year. But your cash in the bank cannot be part of your revenue and expenses for your current budget year. They're not related, they can't be part of it.
Right.
But I do understand what Monica's saying, that on top of revenue and expenses, people are thinking, is this all we got? Is this all we
Right.
get?
Yeah, are we gonna crash through the,
People
through
don't
the
look
ceiling?
at things as like we do because we know.
Well, nobody comes.
They
Well,
look at it different.
They're gonna look at this budget and they're gonna go, these people are nuts.
Well,
They don't know what they're doing.
that wouldn't be the first year.
And they're gonna go, okay, and when they get their summer bill, tax bill, when there's a 0.75% increase for ALS,
No, that's winter.
That's
they're
when-
gonna be, or the winter, they're gonna be wild. Already wild over the, 5% that the taxes went up. Get the assessment, and it's like, your tax bill could increase by blah, blah, blah.
That's
I mean, people are
Lansing.
already talking about
That one's Lansing.
It is.
But it's us, because we're the,
Oh, no.
especially you're the one that's gonna be hearing it.
Well, and I understand that, but the township, Armada's not saying, okay, you know what, you're gonna pay 5% more this
I
year.
know,
You're gonna pay five,
but
you know,
they've
we
got-
don't,
but the state-
it's,
I know, but
it
the
is
state-
Lansing. And
the
when people
state is
call me
saying
and
that,
ask me,
but
I explain to
they're
them.
gonna get their ALS increase, and then they're gonna go, what?
Well, they
The-
voted
But-
for it.
That's the
but
whole
they
thing,
are
you
gonna
know.
be-
They
They're not gonna
voted
remember.
for it.
Oh, no, they're not.
They
This isn't
voted
something
on
we
that 2
forced
years
on, this
ago,
is something
so-
that was voted on.
Right, and when I do get
Best
calls,
money we
I
spend.
do
Yeah.
explain,
And we haven't increased
You
our
know.
mills in what,
0.72,
25,
0.7235
7235.
or something?
not even.
Yeah,
a
we don't
mill.
even,
Library makes
the
more.
library makes way more.
I
money.
know,
They
library
make
makes
a
way
mill,
more.
they make over a mill,
Okay,
but,
we climbed through it, we voted on it, this is an approved budget to present to the public on, truth and budgeting next week. So, Mary, if you could email everybody a copy
go
of it.
ahead.
Are you going to put down that amount as a reserve, or are we gonna see it on the budget? I think it's a good idea to have that, these are our expenses, incoming, outgoing, like she said, separate. But would you please let us know, like, we have a reserve, you guys, this amount?
It can't be called a reserve.
What could be, whatever.
When the,
Cannot be
again,
called a reserve.
in the community I work for, it's called the starting fund balance.
It can
Start- yes,
simply,
it's
it can
starting
simply be put,
fund
and it can't come from BSNA, because BSNA will not call it a reserve, it will not call it anything, because that's cash, that's investments, that's cash, it can't be it's not revenue, and it's not expense.
Actually, might call it starting cash balance.
All you can do is export a file and then fine tune it to what you want it to say for the public, so to speak, and put a line item up there yourself and say, here's the cash we have on hand. That's basically all you can do. You can't change the BSNA program to say you have something that, it's not a reserve.
Yeah, it's not calculated in BSNA, is what you're saying.
I'm up against
It's
the
just a manual entry in BSNA and when I deal with it, but it is manual, but you're right, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's kinda hard to explain.
Okay, I think we done well. I, make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
9:10 PM. Thank you.